Time. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Senna. And good morning to your listeners.
I hope you're well.
I'm doing very well. I just got back to Accra last night. So I just woke up actually and got a call from your station.
Oh, and we've hijacked you already.
That is fine. That's okay. We are working for Mother Ghana.
He's Member of Parliament for Bunkpurugu. Thank you for speaking to us this morning. I guess you're monitoring what is happening in terms of the SIMs that have been blocking. In fact, the report on in the Ghanaian Times today talks about 8 million. There are different figures being cited. Your committee has been actively involved in this whole process. What do you make of where we've gotten to and how this whole thing is being handled?
Well, we are in a mess. We are in a mess. That is what it is, or can be simply described as. It's a mess. And this mess is just created by one person, and that is the Minister for Communication, the Honorable Ursula Owusu. When I came to your studios, I took time to let viewers and listeners understand the role the Honorable Ursula Owusu is playing. Okay, she has brought us to this mess. First of all, those SIM cards that have been blocked, majority of those SIM cards are people who have registered their SIM cards before. And it will shock you to note that even me myself, I walked to MTN office, their head office, to register my SIM card. And yet, 2 of my SIM cards were blocked. And the question is, how? I have investigated this painfully, and I have realized that the institution that the minister and the NCA have contracted to host the data is not properly managing our data, the national data, where everybody's SIM card is registered and hosted, including ministers, parliamentarians, and the president of this country. We have told Ursula, it is not working, review your tactics. Ursula would not listen. There are people who have linked their SIM cards but have not yet gone for their biometric information to be captured. Their data is lost from the system. This system is so small that all the telecos registering their numbers is not able to go through. That is a huge problem. They are not able, because the traffic is so huge that it is not able to go to the database. That is why you see people queuing at the various registration centers the whole day, not being able to register and walk back home, because it is so small that the huge number of people who are being registered at the same time is not able to contain. Are you with me, Senna?
Yes, I'm following, because
yes.
You're suggesting that there's a third party who is supposed to be hosting the data that is being collected. That third party clearly does not have the capacity.
They don't have the capacity. That is what it is. Because it is not the telecos who are registering and keeping the data. It is a third party that the NCA and the minister have contracted. The last time that the minister appeared before the Select Committee on Communication, I asked her whether this third party that you have contracted, they have the capacity in terms of technology, they have the capacity in terms of personnel, and whether they are legally mandated to manage a huge national data like the SIM card. We found out that in my interrogation with the minister, we found out that the Data Protection Commission had not licensed that agency or that organization to collect data, because it is a legal requirement for any institution that keeps data of people, such as the Electoral Commission, a government institution, such as the Controller and Accountant General, a government institution, to be properly licensed, certificated by the Data Protection Commission to host and manage people's data. But this institution, which is privately owned, okay, more or less, do not have that certification from the Data Protection Commission. This is a fact. When she appeared before the committee, I interrogated her, and it came out that these were some of the problems. We pointed it out to her and thought that she would go back and do the right thing. Till date, nothing has been done. Another flaw, these people have also come out with a portal, a self-service portal, where you can go in on your own and register and pay some 5 Ghana cedis. Do you remember?
Yes.
It is an illegality because any fees and charges will have to be approved by Parliament. They are taking these 5 Ghana cedis and registering people who want to do it by themselves, and yet this money, charges or fees, whatever you want to call it, is not approved by Parliament. Ursula alone knows how she arrived at that fees for people to be charged. I again asked her to account to Parliament or to the people of this country how much has been collected so far. That answer didn't come up to date. Are you with me? So the whole thing is in a mess. People who have registered their SIM card have had their SIM card blocked. Myself, as an example, people are trying, they don't have their NIA card. I heard you talk to somebody about NIA. And that is a fact. What the gentleman was telling you was the truth. Because people can still not get the NIA card. People have lost their cards. They can't get replacement. NIA is not producing the cards as early as they should be producing. That is a fact. All right. People who have tried to link their SIM card has not been successful using the portal. And even those who have done that, their data is lost from the system. And if they cannot find your data, so if the teleco's data base is not talking or communicating with that agency's data, then, and the telecos cannot find your data on the system, they will block you.
Okay.
They will block you. So sometimes you see that the telecos would have registered you, okay, but then because your data is not found in that master data, they are forced to block you because they cannot find your data. That is the problem. So technologically, it is a bankrupt situation that we are dealing. Yet Ursula is still pursuing and pursuing. And I told you the last time that Ursula is the communications industry, and the communications industry is Ursula.
She is the communications industry.
Yes.
So she's the beginning and the end.
That is it.
You can't do anything without her.
You can't do anything without her. Everybody in the industry is afraid of her. That is what it is. We all know. Those of us who are in the industry, we know. Nobody, from the telecos to the regulator to the ministry where she head as the minister, nobody can talk, nobody can speak. There are a number of illegalities that she's presiding over. One is just what I told you about the fees. There is another fee that is being charged. Very soon, we are coming out with a press statement and we'll expose some of these things for Ghanaians to know. You don't get up and start charging people to pay monies on your own without parliamentary approval. It's illegal. So that is what it is, Senna.
Okay.
But
so
I just came, like I told you, I just came. I'm going to further study the situation, the current situation, and then by the weekend or midweek, you will hear what the Parliamentary Select Committee on Committee will come out with, or even me myself, what I will come out with.
So okay, so I guess we can find time for you to join us to have an extensive discussion on this. Maybe after midweek, we'll find some time.
Why not?
Yeah, but there's someone who says I should ask you. Please ask the MP if there's nothing they can do to stop the NIA from charging Ghanaians for acquiring Ghana cars, which were already paid for by our taxes. The NIA is charging us $250 now if you want to get an ID card within a reasonable time. Now, there's the NCA, which has also now contracted someone who is also charging us 5 cedi to register our SIM cards. So everywhere you pass, somebody is charging you something for something that we didn't say we wanted. Basically, power is being used to extort us, and we cannot say anything. What help can our representatives offer us?
Well, that is a very good question, and I think it is very legitimate. Like I indicated, it is for the Senate committee to call both the NCA and then the Minister Ursula Owusu to come and answer questions to us. And I believe that Parliament has what it takes to stop any illegality. If these charges, NIA charges, I have to double check on that, whether they have the right to charge, to come out with any fees and charges if it is not approved by Parliament again. So that we are going to look at it. But of course, Parliament as the legislature will have the powers to call them, and if they are doing an illegality, we'll point out to them and then make sure that they do the right thing. And I think with the help of the Speaker and all sides, both sides of the House, we should be able to correct this. Because where the Communication Minister is leading us to, it's a very dangerous path, and we don't want, as a country, to take that path. We don't know what her interest is in all this. The interest of having every SIM card registered is legitimate. We all like that. But if the people don't have the NIA card, why do you have to force them? Why can't you wait for them to get the NIA card before they can register? And you see, like the gentleman said, they have the will to do it. It's not as if people are refusing to acquire it. But government has not put in place measures that will facilitate the easy acquisition of the SIM card. Of the register Ghana card. So it is not their fault. And it appears that the minister is punishing them for something that they have not done wrong. And that is where we are all worried about. So, of course, we have been talking to her, and we have issued statements, and it appears that she's not listening. Maybe we just have to let Mr. Speaker know, then we call her to the floor of Parliament to come and then answer questions on that. We will be asking parliamentary questions, but sometimes it takes time before it is administered and for her to come and deliver her answers. But then this appears to be an urgent situation now that people have had their SIM card blocks and all of that. So we may have to facilitate it. I just returned. I'll be talking to the ranking member on communications, Alaji B. Fusheni, and my senior colleague, the Honorable Sam George, and then from our side. So we would see what we can do about it.
Honorable, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you, Senator.
We wish you all the best. Don't forget, Parliament is resuming. Hey, today is safe.
Yeah, today.
Parliament is resuming today. Oh, okay. So Parliament is resuming. Hey, this country, if they don't, they've charged us for everything, but still we are broke. Ghana is still hustling. We are still